Welcome to season 1 of Top Crop.
We found out that the ground is alive.
Trying to get done a little quicker and trying to simplify things a little bit.
You know, there's only so much money to go around. I look for big wins.
Welcome to season 1 of Top Crop, where we're going to take you around and not only just show you corn and soybeans, but also wheat and any specialty crops. On Top Crop, education first, followed by sustainability, profitability, and also diversity. So make sure you tune in with us on season 1 of Top Crop as we go on this journey together. My name's Corey Atlee. I was the last known king of corn to walk this earth. And we are here today in Jeffersonville, Ohio at the Hughes Farm. Very good farm. And we're planting corn. It's May 22nd. Some people might ask, why are you still planting corn on May 22nd? Well, an easy answer, we had to wait. We wanted to wait. We've been cold and wet with fluctuating temperatures. If you look over here to my right, you'll see a cornfield that's already emerged. Whether I was wrong or right, I did what I thought was best for our operation, and what I thought was best is being patient and showing patience. The soil temperature just wasn't there. It was a huge fluctuation, but now we're able to get going. We've been hitting it hard last 5 days, wrapping up soybeans. Today we're on our last, I think we got 300 or 400 acres left to go. We should wrap up today. We're exhausted, we're tired, but we're excited to finally be done with 2023 planting season. This farm here, really good dirt, good farm. Typically lays a little wet, so being towards the end here has really helped it. It's by far the driest that I've ever planted this farm. A lot of good black dirt here. We got a huge home run hitter for a hybrid going here. This will definitely be an NCGA entry field, and we're looking to throw up some pretty big numbers down here. So anywhere from 99.1 to 99.9 cent singulation. This Pioneer 1136 AM is going in the ground great. Looking for great things. We got it variable rated anywhere between 37, 39, and 41,000. And also we're on 20-inch rows. We got 4 gallon of liquid going in with water as a carrier. With a great mix of different products we're throwing at it. So like I said, we're looking for big things to happen here. So the soils that we're on today here, the CECs are going to range anywhere from about 12 to as high as 18. Like I said, it's pretty good dirt when you can keep it dry. Organic matter is high, it's like 3.5 to 4.5. I really like seeing that. So we're really excited. I mean, especially when you can have this good of dirt, this high of organic matter, this high of CECs, with the Pivot Bio proven 40 going in, that's just going to give us that much more nitrogen throughout the season to keep this corn crop going. So we're really looking forward to this and looking to big things. All right, so now we're out here at the Clyde's farm. This is 60 acres, really good dirt. Last time this was in corn, we had 6391 out here. Ran some really impressive numbers with it. So we're looking to do big things with this farm again. This is first day planting corn. It's actually been 6 days, 75 GDUs, and we're up. Every single one here is up and at 'em. So looks like they just came up through last night. You can see them all just poking their heads right there. Just barely up, but that's emergence. It's early emergence right there. So in the starter we use water, mainly only water, as a carrier. And then after that, we're coming in with fulvic acids, humic acids, a product called Start Right 2.0, which is full of biologicals, 16 different strands, a micronutrients pack, and we're using Pivot Bio's proven 40 in there also. And we're also using a product called Vertex from Terramax. So it's all of a big mixture here of what we're doing. That's why we use water as a carrier. We're going to use what's already in our soil, try to unlock it, and make our own nutrient mix within the soil. So it's been working great for us. We have really good balanced soils here. So that's the route we've been going. We just have to be patient and when we plant. And as you can tell, we were patient. 6 days to emergent, 75 GDUs. She's screaming up out of the ground, and hopefully she never looks back and we get a rain here in a week or so. It'll be great.
So right now we just loaded up Pivot Bio.
The Proven 40 product, which is very cool.
We're out looking at one of our Pivot Bio plots. I like the looks of it.
It's not leaching away in the groundwater. It's not running off when we get a hard, heavy rain.
Not bad, huh?
Not bad. The Proven 40 is doing its job.
It's that missing link that keeps my plant where it needs to be.
Pivot Bio passed the test. I
So
feel
far,
like.
the Pivot Bio is checking all the boxes.
Yeah.
Next, probably will be a V10 Valtima application.
It's so much more than fungicide.
Goes above and beyond disease control.
Really like the BASF fungicides.
It's a stress mitigator. It's plant health. We have applied a toad on this farm, you know.
Done a great job for me.
Definitely money made.
Yeah,
Definitely
absolutely. See how green this still is?
That's right. It's never too early to be talking about a program anymore.
Hey there, Dan Lipkus. He changed our whole plant deal around this year. Bought a little bigger planter at a 24-row high speed. I had a 16-row high speed before, but just as I'm getting older, trying to get done a little quicker and trying to simplify things a little bit. So I want to show you some of the things that are different on this planter and things that are a little new or maybe you haven't seen before. So a lot of planters you buy, if they don't have a liquid system on, you have to set that up. So on this planter, on my, if you want to call it three inches out, it's not three below. I'm putting fertilizer on top of the ground with this planter, and we're doing it with Martin Till's closing systems. So we just wide down. Actually, Steve Martin designed these for me. So we could lay the fertilizer in a band on top. Now, I believe putting it in the ground is better, but when you're putting it in the ground, you also have a lot of wear issues. Doesn't matter what system you're using. We tend to get a rain fairly often around planting time. In fact, that's why we're stopped now, rain. And with 32% and sulfur and some of these other things, rain will take that right down. So, even though it's possibly not the best scenario, but it's still a really good scenario. So that's the way I've tried to do that. So there's the closing system, fertilizer delivery, which we're coming down and bringing it right alongside the row on each side. And that is basically, the fertilizer system is powered by Surefire's liquid shift system. And that's a pump that's running off, hydraulically driven pump, that as I drop down and use our centrifugal fans, our CCS fans, that same system powers this pump, so it's not drawing a lot of oil from the system. So the way that system has been working is it's called a liquid shift. So in a high-speed planter, you are running a lot of different speeds a lot of different times, depending on your conditions. So it's usually between 5 and 10, but that's a big range, when you're putting out, with this we're putting out 15 gallons per acre. So your pressures will vary greatly. And it's hard to come up with something that, for the right pressures to get that entire range. So what Surefire has done is it's something called their liquid shift. And what that is up here, as you can see, these systems will shift from a bigger line to a smaller line as the pressures are needed. So it can keep you kind of in that right pressure range. Or if you're really hauling the mail, going like heck, it'll open both, to drop your pressures down. keep them in that sustainable range. So we've got that. We put on the outboard tanks that are tied in to the Yield 360 tanks up front. So with this remote, I can control all the tanks from the cab or when I'm filling. So if I hit my number 1, turn that valve on, you see my upper light came on up there. My number 2 actually goes to my front tanks. And then my number 3 goes to that tank over there, and you see the other lights do that. I'll do that in reverse so you can see those lights. I also have lights in the front that I can see so you can tell, you know, which tank you're on. I've noticed with saddle tanks it's pretty crucial to be able to shut one down. I made a few mistakes right at first stopping on a side hill, and everything runs to one side, right? So you'll have it boiling over the top of the tank if you're too full. But with this, right at your fingertips, you can stop that. So it's pretty cool. I think that's well worth the money. Would not want to have this system without that, the way it is right now. So we needed a marker, and what better way to do it with the old red, white, and blue, right? Have a little patriotism, and I can also see where my front end's at. It's a double bubble. These tanks, we can fill out of the back, or we can fill right here. It's plumbed all the way to the back, so if I want to fill in my starter and 32 at the same time, we can do it out of the back, or we can come up to the front and do just these right here. So that's fairly much the tour on the planter, the different things that we've changed up this year. We're rolling through quite a few acres a day. You know, liquid does slow you down, there's no doubt about it. Guys that don't have liquid on get considerably more done than I do, just because you spend a fair amount of time filling. It's all about that. And then if you have any issues too with the system or any leaks. But anyway, like the system, I think we designed it well. I got a few bugs we're working out yet, but I think it's gonna be all right.
So right now we just loaded up Pivot Bio.
The Proven 40 product, which is very cool.
We're out looking at one of our Pivot Bio plots. I like the looks of it.
It's not leaching away in the groundwater. It's not running off when we get a hard, heavy rain.
Not bad, huh?
Not bad. The Proven 40 is doing its job.
It's that missing link that keeps my plant where it needs to be.
Pivot Bio passed the test, I
So
feel
far,
like.
the Pivot Bio is checking all the boxes.
Yeah.
We are headed out to plant one of the last fields of corn for the year. Yay! Are you gonna keep going?
Yeah, we're gonna go down to Randy's next.
I mean, I can just mix for a full load as long as it's gonna be within 4 hours.
Yeah, I mean, Dad said that was ready to plant like right now, so
Okay.
it was drier than this. So.
And then after Randy's,
I think they did the high school and then Huntsville.
I'm not gonna be able to do one full load anyway, so I might as well just mix for these two and then Anderson's.
Yeah.
So we're here today planting corn, and we're gonna go ahead and get our Pivot Bio and our other info fertilizer mixed up and into the planter. Mixing Pivot Bio is pretty easy. You just dump the jugs, 40 acres per jug. The important part is to remember, once you crack one of these open, the microbes only have 24 hours to live. It smells, but that good smell, that good stinky smell, means that the microbes are still alive. So if my hands stink at the end of the day, I know the product's good, and the product's gonna give our corn some additional nitrogen. So I dump some boxes depending on the acres we're gonna plant, and go ahead and mix a little bit of info fertilizer in along with that, with some humic and a sugar, and all these kind of create this synergistic effect where we're making those microbes happy along with making the corn happy. Pivot Bio has become a staple on our farm. We are in our 3rd year of using the product, and we've been really impressed. thus far about what the product can do for our corn in regards to feeding it with a little extra nitrogen all throughout the season. I can put this product in during planting when it's convenient to apply, and it's going to stay there until the end of the growing season. So we're super excited, and we continue to fine-tune this product. We know those microbes need to eat. They need a really, really healthy food source. So we're looking at different carbon sources, different sugar sources to give them that little extra oomph. They say they're going to give you an additional 40 pounds, and we're going after every pound of that because we know what this can do for our corn crop. And I hope in the future there's the opportunity for heavier microbes and heavier pounds of nitrogen that we can supply in this form.
Having some issues with the agitator in the seed tank on this DB90. It's not wanting to rock back and forth, and it won't blow seed to the units. Had an issue at the beginning of the year with it. I thought the electric motor that runs it burned up, and we put a new one on, and it still doesn't seem like it's running right. It should run constantly, I guess, and sometimes it'll run constantly, and then sometimes it'll stop for a while, and then it'll run again, and it'll stop. So there's some sort of issue going on with it somewhere, but I was playing the field here, and now all of a sudden everything was going good, and now all of a sudden it won't rock, and now it won't blow seed, so it won't plant. So
Have to hand plant it all.
we were losing amperage in a power wire, so I ran a new wire, and we'll try it out right now. Working now. Down on it. If I really hang on it, it'll slow it down. That's me, like. I don't know. Good deal. Good deal.
We're so close. We can taste the end, and it's the end of May, so we're ready to get these crops in the ground and give them some of these warm temperatures and just let them take off. We have a long way to go, but we're going to pray that Mother Nature cooperates with us and that we will have some good yields come harvest time.
Next probably will be a V10 Valtima application.
It's so much more than fungicide.
Goes above and beyond disease control.
Really like the BASF fungicides.
It's a stress mitigator. It's plant health. We have applied a toad on this farm,
Done a great job for me.
Definitely money made.
Yeah, absolutely. See how green this still is?
That's right. It's never too early to be talking about a program anymore.
My name's Russell Hedrick, and you're watching Top Crop. Welcome to the farm. This one here we call the bottom of the barrel. Today we're going to talk a little bit about our soil testing, what we're looking at with our fertility approaches, and picking up a piece of ground that's it's pretty tough. It's the only way to say it. So this farm here we actually picked up last year from a neighboring farmer. It came open for bid, we leased it, and this year on this farm we've got a few different trials going on. We're looking at fertility management on the planter, whether it's 2x2, in furrow, different products. This field here on this side of the farm, we're actually doing wide row soybeans. The other side, we're doing narrow row, looking at what our yield response is going to be and weed response. This farm actually has some resistant weeds on it, mare's tail. But just look forward to diving into some of our soil tests and showing you what we've got. A lot of farmers, we found out, really don't dive too deep into their soil sampling. Conventional soil tests, if you take like where Dan's at, they're probably using Bray, which Olson was developed in the 1940s, Bray was developed in the 1960s, and the Millick test was developed in the 1980s. How many farmers get in their tractors and carry around a rotary dial phone? Nobody. But our soil tests haven't changed since the rotary dial phone was around, which is absolutely just mind-blowing to me. So what we like to do on our farm is we pull a conventional test, which for this area would be the Millick 3. Then we utilize a new test called the Haney test, and we can just kind of show some comparisons. So the Millick 3 test, which is what our state average is, it uses an extractant that would kind of represent hydrochloric acid. And the problem with that is it doesn't rain hydrochloric acid. And if you're going to look at how much fertility is there, by using an extractant that's too hard, we're actually going to get a false read on what our fertility availability is going to be to the plant. So if we're looking at this farm that we're on here, we're on HL1. If we come over here to HL1, we're going to see that it's showing really high phosphorus, medium potassium. Calcium is a little bit on the low side, but we should expect that just being how this farm was cared for. And so if we look at recommendations for this farm, it's saying for 65 bushel beans, we need 65 pounds of P and 60 pounds of K. Then if we look at the Haney test, the Haney test is actually calling for a little bit more phosphorus and less potassium. So if you really want to look at the bottom line and what the crop is actually going to need, the Haney test extractant uses water and 3 organic acids. It's to mimic acids that we're going to see produced by the plants that we're growing. So it's actually giving us a more representative read on how the ground's functioning, what are we going to see available in fertility. Sometimes it calls for less, sometimes it calls for more. But instead of putting on additional potash that we don't need, we bump up our phosphorus a little bit and we're able to balance this out and actually grow a better plant that yields better without throwing additional money at it. Every year we try to do a couple different farms where we just kind of throw everything at it. So on this farm, we've got in-soil algae from Enlightened Soils. We're using a product called Holganics. It's got 800 different microbes in it. We're using a new product that we just found out about called fish shit, and we're putting it up against Pivot Bio. We'll break this farm out into several different plots. It definitely takes time. I think a lot of people don't understand that doing these plots definitely adds time to your planning schedule, but if you're looking to maximize return on investment, it's one of the things that's became critical for us. We do run two 2x2 in-furrow tanks. We custom built all of these tank systems. We've got really good recirculation on them. We run 12-volt electric pumps, so we can essentially dial in our rates in the cab and change it on the go if we need to. This farm here is getting a blend of potassium thiosulfate, 1137O mixed with 32% with some humics, and some micro and macro elements in it is going in the 2x2. In-furrow will be our 4 biologicals with our in-furrow fertilizer, using the In-Furrow Max on corn and the Diamond K on beans. I hope everybody's excited for the season this year. It's getting time where we're wrapping up planting. But if anybody's got any questions for the show, feel free to leave us a comment. We'll try to get to everybody we can.